The contents of this podcast are solely for the purpose of sharing some interesting and unusual information and make no claims of any historical authenticity for the same. The listeners are free to make their deductions and inform us of any added information they may have regarding the story.
Explore, then explore. Season 1 Incredible India by Manisha Dhawan, a Pratidhwani original.
To all my listeners, I, Manisha, bid a warm welcome as we meet yet again on the Pratidhwani platform to tell the fifth tale with the promise to bring you the unusual and unknown without fail. As is our ritual, let's begin with our newest tidbits of the unusual. So, did you know that there are 26 gods mentioned in the Gayatri Mantra, which is why it's called the mother of all mantras? Did you also know that it was because of the curse received by Shiva from Rishi Kashyap that he cut off Ganesha's head? Well then, let's bring you the newest gem, tales from our magical collection of unknown and perhaps unusual tales. May I add that as this is our fifth meeting, so for this time I bring you a special treat of 5 tales about Ganesha. So here's Manisha ready to unfold yet another set of tales that are pretty much untold. So to begin, Lord Ganesha, the son of Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati, is popularly worshipped under different names like Sumukha, Ekdanta, Kapila, Gajakarna, Lambodra, Vinayak, Dhumraketu, and many others. Amongst a multitude of gods that are worshipped in Hindu mythology, Lord Ganesha is perhaps one of the most popular ones. His idols are omnipresent in nearly every nook and corner across our country. His very name, Ganesha, which has been formed from 2 words, Gana meaning masses of people and Isha referring to God, thus quite literally makes Ganesha the Lord of the masses. Lord Ganesha has been worshipped for many years, and his stories have gained quite a lot of popularity amongst people and also find their place amongst many ancient scriptures, namely the Mudgala Puran, Shiva Puran, Ganesha Puran, and the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, to name a few. So, to cut a long story short, here are a few of the lesser known tales related to Lord Ganesha in his younger form, that of Bal Ganesha. Let's begin with the first tale. From where did Ganesha get his weapons that we see him holding in his hands? Who gave them to him? Now, as the story goes, once Shiva left Mount Kailasha and went to the forest to live there for a while. In the meanwhile, Vishwakarma, who as per Hindu mythology is considered as the divine architect or the Devashilpi or the architect of gods, arrived to visit him. Ganesha was at this time perhaps about 6 years in age. On seeing Vishwakarma, he demanded a gift from him, to which Vishwakarma replied that he couldn't possibly bring a gift for God, who was the creator of all things in this world. He, however, bowed before Ganpati and presented him some things that he had created himself in the form of gifts. These were a sharp hatchet, an axe, a sacred lotus. Ganesha was extremely pleased. And now, for the second tale. Once Bal Ganesha was playing with his friends, the Muni sons. During the course of play, he started feeling hungry. Gautam Rishi's ashram was near about where they were playing. Gautam Rishi was engrossed in meditation while his wife Ahilya was cooking in the kitchen. Ganesh went to the ashram and, after diverting the attention of Ahilya, stole all the food from the kitchen and ran off to share the food with his friends. After some time, Ahilya noticed that the food was missing from the house. She shook Gautam Rishi out of his meditation and told him that the food had disappeared from the kitchen. When sage Gautam reached the forest, he saw Ganpati having the food with his friends. Sage Gautam caught them and took them to Mata Parvati and told her about the theft. When goddess Parvati heard of the theft, she took Ganesha to a hut and tied him there. When Parvati came out of the hut after tying him there, she began to feel as if Ganesha was sitting on her lap. But when she checked, Ganesha was still tied up inside the hut. Mata got engaged in work, and after a while she again felt as if Ganesha was playing with Shiva. She went to the hut once more, but saw Ganesha tied there. Soon she started seeing Ganesha everywhere, sometimes playing, sometimes eating, and sometimes even crying. Feeling extremely upset and perplexed, Parvati Ma went into the hut where she found Ganesha crying like any other child and trying hard to get himself rid of the ropes that tied him. His mother felt great affection and passion for him and happily freed him. Let's move on to the third tale. So, this is about the time when we get to see why Ganesha is considered as the god of extreme wisdom and learning. He was once faced with the challenge of inviting all the gods for a yajna being organized by Lord Shiva. So, as the story goes, once Shiva wished to organize a grand yajna, and as soon as the thought struck him, he began preparations for the same. Various tasks were assigned, but the most important task of inviting all the gods was left. Someone who could quickly and timely visit the different realms and with due respect invite the gods had to take up this very important task. The person who took it up was expected to be swift but tactful so as not to offend any of the gods in all his haste. Shiva chose Ganesha for this task. Ganesha is considered as the god of wisdom and intelligence, and Shiva believed that even in his haste he would not make any mistakes and entrusted Ganesha with the job of delivering the invitations to the gods. Ganesha willingly accepted the task but fell into deep thought as his mode of transport was a rat that was rather slow. He wondered how he would get to all the gods in all the different realms in time. Ganesha thought for a long while and then came to a very wise solution as to how he was going to, with all due respect, deliver all the invites to the gods to come and participate in the yajna being organized by his father, Lord Shiva. He soon picked up all the invites and quietly went and sat before his father, bowed his head in salutation to him, as Ganesha thought to himself that the absolute truth was that all gods were ultimately manifested within Shiva himself, and thus if he pleased Shiva, it was akin to pleasing all the gods. With this thought in mind, he worshipped Lord Shiva while invoking all the gods and inviting them by submitting all the invites before Shiva. Lo and behold, every invite reached the gods as was meant to be, and all of the gods reached in good time for the yajna. Thus Ganesha, through his wisdom, solved this apparently daunting task. Now moving on to the fourth tale. How did Ganesha get the title of Ekdanta, or the god of the single tooth? The most popular story that explains this is the Mahabharata one. Rishi Vedvyas, who was about to set out to write the Mahabharata, asked Ganesha if he would be his scribe. Ganapati, also known as the Lord of Knowledge and Learning, agreed. He, however, had a condition. Vedvyas should keep his narration continuous. If he were to stop, Ganapati would also stop writing. To this, Vyas laid down a condition of his own. Ganapati was allowed to write only after he understood in entirety what the sage was dictating. After this, it is believed Ganapati broke off one of his tusks and used it to write. He considered an ordinary pen unequal to the task of writing an epic as great as the Mahabharata. Some versions also say that he broke his tusk only when the actual pen he was using broke. The second explanation for his broken tusk is a fight with Parshuram. As per the Brahmavarta Puran, Parshuram, who was an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, was also the disciple of Shiva. After defeating the Kshatriyas for the 17th time using the axe bestowed to him by Shiva, he decided to go to Kailash to visit Shiva and Parvati. At the time he reached there, Lord Shiva was sleeping and had left Ganesha on watch so as not to be disturbed. When Parshuram, known for his temper, wished to enter Shiva's lodging to see him, Ganapati, who was guarding the door, stopped him. Enraged, Parshuram got into a fight with Ganesha and pushed him so hard that he fell. Ganesha, extremely annoyed, wished to get back at him, but held himself back as he was a Brahmin, so instead spun him around with his trunk and dropped him onto the ground. On falling, Parshuram felt extremely insulted and struck Ganesha with the Parshu, the weapon that had been bestowed on him by Lord Shiva. Ganpati, out of respect for the weapon that was first his father's, allowed the axe to strike his tusk, and Ganpati thus lost his tusk as a result. Hearing the clamour, soon Lord Shiva emerged and calmed them both down. From then onwards, Ganesha is called Ekdanta. And here is the fifth and final tale. How did Ganesha get the name of Gajaraj? It is said that Lord Ganesha's mother, Goddess Parvati, carved an idol of a boy out of turmeric powder and breathed life into it, unknown to her husband, Lord Shiva. So when Ganesha denied Lord Shiva entry into his abode because Goddess Parvati was bathing inside, Shiva cut off Ganesha's head in anger. According to a legend, an elephant was the first animal that Lord Brahma later found when he went out to look for one to replace Ganesha's head. A lesser known story from the Brahma, wherever the Purana narrates a different version of Ganesha's birth. On the insistence of Shiva, Parvati fasted for a year to please Vishnu so that he would grant her a son. Vishnu, after the completion of the fast, announced that he would incarnate himself as her son in every eon. Accordingly, Ganesha was born to Parvati as a charming infant. This event was celebrated with great enthusiasm, and all the gods were invited to take a look at the baby. However, Shani, the son of Surya, hesitated to look at the baby since Shani had been cursed with the gaze of destruction by his wife once when she was annoyed with Shani Dev when he didn't pay attention to her, as he was always immersed in his penance and bhakti to Shiv. When Parvati questioned him, Shani came to a decision and looked at the goddess Parvati's baby from the edge of his left eye. However, Parvati insisted that he look at the baby properly, which Shani did, and immediately the infant's head fell off. Seeing Shiva and Parvati grief-stricken, Vishnu mounted on Garuda, his divine eagle, and rushed to the banks of the Pushpabhadra river, from where he brought back the head of a young elephant. The head of the elephant was joined with the headless body of Parvati's son, thus reviving him. The infant was named Ganesha, and all the gods blessed Ganesha and wished him power and prosperity. So with this, it's time to say goodbye once again. So keep yourself curious and in waiting until we bring you our next interesting and definitely unheard of tale. So in the meanwhile, do visit Pratidhwani's podcasting website, podcast.pratidhwani.com. And this is Manisha once more signing off until our next.
Explore, then explore. Season 1 Incredible India by Manisha Dhawan, a Pratidhwani original.